Anybody that's really connected with us, you can definitely catch us online. You could go to Health Max Ed. Health Max Ed, when you go there, you will actually see it's very simple, two words, Health Max Ed. Ed stands for education, and that's how we got started initially, where we've been sharing information about education, and we know that it makes a huge difference when you can actually do that, and that's what we are committed to do. So the authority that I'm speaking from, you will find it exactly on Genesis 1, verse 29, the first book of Genesis, in the 29th verse. And it says, very simple. It says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed in which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Anytime I hear that, first of all, I see how gracious our Savior is. The fact that we are having an opportunity. Notice I say it very well. We're having an opportunity. And the reason I gotta call it as it is, to have an opportunity, is because imagine that we're given, it says, behold, I have given you. So it's a gift that we receive immediately. So imagine that you have a gift like that, and that gift can make an enormous difference in the life, in not only your life, but the life of others. What would that look like? Well, that's exactly the reason why we're really connected to this. We know that it can make an absolute difference when we create that level of transformation at this point. So for all those who are connected, I hope you already have your pen and your notebook. Notice I said notebook, because I'm not committed to have you put it in a piece of paper that's going to disappear by the end of the show. We want to make sure that we're making this available, and that all of you will have an opportunity to create that level of transformation right away. And that's why we are committed to do this that way. So let's get started. So I am glad that so many of you have ordered the book that we've been talking about. And for all those who've been connecting with us, is the book is been talking about counsel on diet and foods. And what was very surprising to me is that, a lot of times people are saying people don't read anymore. Well, that's not quite true. There are a lot of people that still read, and there are some they would rather listen. So today I will give an offer to many people who are listening. You can always call me at 305-407-9227. By me seeing your call, I will send you a link where you can listen for free. Now, as you know, we spoke to you about the reason we are making the book available to you is because we want to really give you a way where you can actually contribute towards the show as well. So by us making that available, what it does, it gives you an opportunity where you can actually sow into this ministry. It's very simple. Now, for all my folks who are watching, real quick, I will give you the number again, and you might see that it says 8 Laws of Health. Now, I gave the Facebook address is because I want you to be able to see me as well if you want to see the person speaking. And you will see the number again, 305-407-9227. The book we've been talking about is Counsel on Diet and Foods. What you will get from that book is a wealth of information. And the funny thing is that it's been only privileged by a little group of people. I say a little group because we know the Christian denomination is really vast. It's just there's certain group that were privy to that information that no one else really connected to it because it was more of an insider information. So we want to make sure that insider information is available to you as well. So why is it something that's important? Now, you may say, I don't see the need for it. And I get that. Some people A person that's healthy won't really see the need for something like that because they figure that I'm already healthy. Remember, Christ said he came for who? Those who are sick, those who are in need of a physician. So, for those who are wondering, the purpose of this show is very simple, is to create a listing for natural health and wellness and to activate our community to revolutionize and restore health history from a negative to a positive. And when we say health history, people would say that, well, my family have a history of diabetes. And real quick, make sure you make a note on that. If you have access to Netflix or YouTube, put what the health, you will see every now and then I will be sharing some documentaries that we believe that can make a difference by giving you information that you can use right away. When we say that, we call that transformational. So information you can use right away, that's what it means, okay? Now, there are people who are private, they don't want to call, and I get that, but they would rather write. So my folks who are even online, you can send mail to 855 Northeast 125th Street, North Miami, Florida 33161. And this is our headquarters for now. If you want to reach out to us or if you want to even stop by, we're always open from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. And if you want to see us later, definitely call in to make an appointment. And my folks who are listening, you can have that. We've been operational over 15 years in that location. And I want to say to you, you will see the reason why we do what we do. And my folks online who are very much, they want to get some information right away, such as there's 5 little things that we can tell you to do right away that you will see a difference, okay? So you can send me an email at docnaturel@gmail.com, which is DOCNATUREL@gmail.com. One of the things I found out since I've been on the station, there are people who are still using landline. So when I say call and then I'll send you a text, the minute I realize that it is a landline, I'll make sure I call you back because sometimes the calls are a lot. Well, I think we're ready to do more things. Now, when I say to you that we want to revolutionize and restore health history in our family, the lineage, I'll tell you a story real quick, and I love telling stories. You see, my grandma had 11 kids. All of the 11 kids had blood pressure. Grandma had blood pressure. Now, guess what? The grandkids, all of them except a few of them, which is me and my family, none of us had blood pressure. But guess what? The others had blood pressure as well. But here's the funny thing about that, okay? As the other grandkids and also even the kids changed their diet, guess what happened? No more blood pressure, no more diabetes. So many things that they weren't anymore because there's been a revolution that occurred in the nutrition. And this is the reason why there's a lot of entities who do not want to speak about that. And notice when I'm about to dig into certain very pertinent information, I'm going to have to tell you the disclaimer. Why? Because there are very, very powerful entities who are making sure that the cash cow, which is our culture, when I say our culture, some people already know what I'm talking about, are not privy to certain information. And they really want you to think that it's so far-fetched and it's so expensive that you couldn't even afford it too. But when you realize you start cutting on some nonsense, some things that you didn't have to really spend your money, you'll notice what happened. I remember one time I had to choose, and that was over 15 years ago, I had to choose over keeping the insurance. And back then, as a single guy, keeping the insurance that I have and eating organic. I'm like, hold on a second. Why was it $900, right, per month? And I'm like, this is crazy. I said, nah, chop it off. I had to cut that because I rather had put that money towards the nutrients that was really keeping me healthy. And I'm telling you, this is over 16 years ago. So this is one of those things. And as you know, a lot of things have changed. So you see, there's affordable options that we have available right now. But it was really about you thinking that health would be a privilege or a right. That's the way it was looking that way, right? So people would feel that, hey, you know what? Why do I have to pay for the next person? Well, guess what? At the end of the day, we live in a community. So when we say what would that look like, we want to see our community leaders actively being healthy, doing healthy things, and really having healthy habits. And what that looks like also is that we're taking, notice I'm saying we because I am in the midst of it as well. There are things that we could all do to really help impact that. So I said to you before, I love stories, and I will dig in the book a little bit more. So we have about 12 minutes left. While I was at the clinic on a Thursday afternoon, my mom, Dr. Santana, suddenly was started not feeling well. So when I took her blood pressure, it was 220 over a 110, and with a pulse of 89, give or take. I remember that. She was getting weak, and we had her lay down on the big bench there. And then when we did that, I said, "Well, we're gonna have to take you to the hospital." She says, "No, if you take me there, they might put a pacemaker or get me on dialysis." Let me tell you how weird it was. She already knew what her end could have ended up being, right? So the minute that occurred, and I don't suggest anybody to do that yourself unless you really know what you're doing. What I quickly did, I called Miss Charles that was with us at that time, and I told her, go get me mistletoe, cayenne pepper, olive leaf, reishi mushroom, and peppermint oil. She's like, what? I said, just start, get me something right away, because she was under the impression and felt that she was going to have a stroke. And the funny thing is that a lot of people don't believe in managing emotion. Managing emotion is something that's huge. What occurred previously? Well, previously, somebody visited her and said something, I guess, that wasn't so pleasant, and she didn't know how to manage that conversation. And that's why I tell people it's really important to be with any communication, because there are people who are able to really transfer whatever their frustration or all the uglies in their lives or whatever that they're dealing with, and they want to transfer that bad energy, I like to call it juju, onto you. And it worked, because she got all worked up and her blood pressure was rose up. So what we did immediately, I had to use a mega dose. Typically, this is something we would do 2 tubes twice a day, right? Well, I had to do it every 15 minutes, where I had to put 4 tubes under the tongue, because it was sublingual, it's a liquid base, and have her shake it and swallow it while she was supine. Now, the funny thing also, I remember we were counting every 15 minutes to actually do that and take the blood pressure again. So from administering that, her blood pressure in the space of 2 to 3 hours end up becoming normal. But what made a huge difference, besides the cayenne pepper that helped really calm her down and all, it was the peppermint. Peppermint is really awesome. It has the ability to oxygenate the body, the brain, every part of your body. And that's what was really nice, because as I did something that's called the crown of Christ, I took a little bit of it and I put it all around her head. It oxygenated the head and she felt better. And then when she woke up, when I say woke up, I was well again within the 3 hour span. She said, "You saved my life." I'm like, "Why?" She says, "I felt like I was going in a far, far place." And when I hear that, and I know some people who are listening may be able to identify with that, sometimes when you're not feeling well, but you don't know what exactly that's making you not feeling well, and you can't really put your finger in it, what I always say is that often do something. The time that you take to try to figure out what the issue is, you could have done something that really assisted you. Now, remember, we had to use that. So besides that, we had to add in a product to help flush the kidney. Why? Because again, any time that you're doing those type of protocol, you want to give the body an exit. And that's why a lot of times we say that people don't realize why we're talking so much about counsel and diet and foods, because it tells you not only the origin of this whole matter, it also tells you why you want to really dig into this, the reason why it makes sense to get into it, why it would make sense if you actually started to really follow a protocol that would make sense and that would really take care of you. So when you have all that information, what it does, it becomes like a no-brainer that, yeah, I should be doing that. So when she did that, that was a life-saving movement, and to really be able to really connect with those herbs. Now, I will tell you this, they're not things that taste the greatest, but it made sense. Guess what I'm saying? They weren't the tastiest of the products, but they made sense to actually have something like that. And why I say it made sense is because the effect that you got from that. Now, when I asked Ms. Charles to grab me those products, if I did not use emergency doses, I don't know where Doc would have been right now. Now, what I want you to do, since we got 7 minutes left, since I told you I love stories, we got to have some good old COVID stories too, right? Well, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 6:30. We got some good COVID stories too. Now, notice that this is a topic most people want to stay away. Not especially if you're in natural medicine, most people want to stay away from it. Well, guess what? This is our conversation. This is our life. Some people have made it, some people didn't make it, and some people are dealing with it right now. As you know, there's a surge. There's always going to be a variant of the variant of the variant of the variant. Let's not be fooled. That's the way it works. You know how many years that we've been getting vaccine for flu? The flu vaccine's been around for the longest. Why? It's because that's exactly the way it works. Okay, so don't be surprised that every year you're going to have another boosters of the boosters and of the boosters. Why I'm saying this, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm really want you to start understanding why the reform for health is essential, because there will be people that says, enough with this. I don't want to do this anymore. You already promised me that this was going to work. I don't want to have to do this anymore. Besides, it's been said that after 55 years, this is when it's going to be revealed all that is in it. So understand this. We're going with blind faith, trusting our government to really do this. So what I will always say is that I'm neither for or against, with the exception, we have a choice to make for our lives and ourselves. One of the things that we do that's really essential to really know that our bodies is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in God. So when you have the opportunity to put what you want into it, that that's good, it makes a huge difference. So I promise you garlic. So you're going to hear it in exactly but I don't even think I have 6 minutes. I got 4 minutes for you for garlic. But one thing that I like about garlic is just so awesome. I call garlic my natural what? It's my natural vaccine. And my folks who are Italian, they say that garlic is good for 1001 disease. Now, that's their claim, and I'm only repeating that. So what I love about garlic is that it's called a poor man's trickle. It's kind of saying it's a poor man's treatment. Garlic, what I love about it is an alternative, which means it helps remove waste, bio waste, anything that is not good in the body. It's an antibacterial, it's an antibiotic, it's an anti-cathehol, antifungal, antipyretic. I had to use it when we say the word pyretic. So people were getting fever, right? That's how we handled that. And that's why people were able to go back to work. Again, because there are some places you could not even get into, the little top, I call them top or jitney on 7th Avenue and 6th Avenue. Some of the guys, I remember them because some of them are patients. They would zap people's head and then say, see, and even Doc was doing that. I'm like, Doc, this not is cute. so many ways that you can take care of what they call that fever, whether you're using alfalfa sprouts or alfalfa in general, but also garlic. Some people, that's why they were able to work throughout this whole pandemic. So again, antiviral, anti-spasmodic. I share that with you with ginger, and these things is really important to know. Garlic is first noted by Chinese literature uh, in the collection of commentaries in classic Materia Medica. The reason we talk about that, 3,500 years ago, it was found in Egyptian scroll. So healers, they believe that garlic could help a person fight cancer. That's what they believe. Imagine that. So remember, I got 2 more minutes left. I want to make sure that you connect because I had to tell you the story. But guess what? Garlic, I will discuss it a little bit more in depth. If there's two things you want to get, and I promise all of you, remember we're here 365 or 365. I'm promising you that I will give you a herb literally every day. So, in me concluding our presentation today, and again, it is short because, of course, we're on the radio, but my folks online, we're going to keep going until we can keep going, right? So, the book, the good thing about the book, it talks about the reason for reform. It's a choice of life and death, okay? Or life or death. The question about obedience, when you think about that, notice I always say that that book, the good thing about it is that it's a book on counsel on diet and foods, but also it covers spirituality. For my folks who are actually on Instagram, you'll be able to see it as well. But the main thing I want to say to you, I've made a massive order to be able to really answer to however many of you that wants to order the book. The book is only $15. So for everybody who actually buys the book, okay, you call us 305-407-9227, and we give you all the different ways you can buy it, whether it's Zelle, whether it's Cash App, whether it's through PayPal. You are, as long as you're in South Florida, you have the ability to get, you hear me? You'll get a bottle of Cascara. So for everybody that buys the book, okay, you will have the ability to get a bottle of Cascara that will last you up to 2 months, close to 3 months. So make sure you call us again, 305-407-9227, 305-407-9227, 305-407-9227. Well, for all my folks in WMBM, this is about my time. Remember, 6:30 tomorrow, we're going to get started right away and finish off on garlic. Bon, bye, guy. Thank you. Okay, so I am so glad all of you who are really connected to us right now. One of the things that's really awesome is that we're going to give you more information so that you can make a better decision when it comes to your health. I want to make sure that you're connected to that and have access. Okay, just make sure you call me 305-407-9227, 305-407-9227. One of the things that I want to share quickly for all my folks who are still connecting with us is that on the reason for reform, it also talks about why the light on health reform. These things are important. The importance of health principles. And Daniel's example, all this is something that matters, okay? And that's why we make it mean something to really connect with you. I'm so glad that I was able to really come through with you. Just so you know, you will notice 3 shows per day. Okay, I will have one in the morning, one in midday, and one, of course, around this time just to do the show. So our time on WMBM is very as such. Okay, you ready? It's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6:30. That's when we start. On Tuesday, we're there at 7:30, and on the weekend we're at 5 p.m. Okay, so let's make sure we get connected. I am so glad I was able to share information that's causing transformation. Bye, bye, guy.